To McWhorter Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina. Tonight, the Clemson Tigers open the home portion of their 2026 schedule as they take on the Furman Paladins. Alongside William Quackenbush, I'm Tony Schufo. Quack, good start to the season down in Clearwater last weekend.
That's exactly right. The Tigers go 3-2. They got two big ranked wins. You're going to be hearing more about those come NCAA tournament time as we take a look at what happened. The thrilling comeback against Southeastern Louisiana. The come-from-behind win against Oregon. Then they pummeled Liberty. That was a huge day, too. Scuffled a little bit, Auburn and Michigan State. And John Rittman says tonight he wants his team to swing it a little better, start a little faster. I think if they do those two things, they'll be in good shape.
All right, speaking of tonight, let's take a look at someone who's making another appearance, if you will, in McWhorter Stadium, and one of the all-time greats in the Clemson uniform.
Now you see there, three-time first-team All-American. That is very hard to do even once. Valerie Cagle, one of the best to ever do it. She helped lay the foundation for the success that Clemson has right now. Truly a neat experience to have her back here in McWhorter in the opposing dugout as a Furman assistant coach.
And welcome in, everyone. Beautiful night for softball here in Clemson, South Carolina. And Tony Schufo along with William Quackenbush. Quack, couldn't ask for better weather. A week ago, we were snowed out here in Clemson. This is beautiful weather tonight.
It certainly is. You don't really prescribe 71 all the time for your first pitch at home here in February, but a great time for both teams, I would say, to hit. These are good hitting conditions tonight. You see Furman's lineup with Sylvia Burrows leading away there in the top three. I think both teams really want a fast start. They're coming off of tough losses at the end of a long weekend. So you always want to feel good your first couple innings out, whether you're at the plate or you're in the circle.
Kiera Crosby will be in the circle for the Tigers tonight, making her second start of the year. She's no record 150 ERA. We saw, one of the things we saw with Coach Rittman in Clearwater, if you're on this roster, you're going to get an opportunity. It's the freshman's chance tonight against Furman.
For sure, and there are a couple of freshmen. You've got Lexi Hames, and then you've got Kiera Crosby. Crosby may be the less heralded one, but incredibly efficient. Look at that, 4 2/3, only one strikeout, but she was able to minimize damage. And if you can miss barrels the way that she did, heck, Clemson's pitching staff last year rode that all the way to 60 feet to Oklahoma City. She's incredibly dialed for a freshman. I'm excited to see her attack Furman here tonight.
Yeah, you were out at Texas. We were one swing away from getting to the World Series. We're about set to get underway. Furman comes in looking for their first win of the year. This will be the 10th time these two have matched up. 2 years ago, the Paladins came in here and upset Clemson by a count of 4-3. Tigers last year winning 12-0. And the first pitch is fouled off, but we are underway. It's good to be back at McWhorter.
Always great. Midweek crowd. Folks still filing in here on the berm in left field, taking advantage of the good weather.
Set the defense for you in just a moment for the Tigers. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. The work ahead. I mean, the most important pitch in baseball, strike one.
I think it's the hardest thing for a freshman, too, to feel comfortable with your stuff to go attack, especially early. You have 2 different types of freshman pitchers. You have the ones who are a little bit afraid to get hit. Then you have ones who are just trying to throw hard and beat people. The good thing about Crosby is that you see another foul ball. All 3 of those good swings by the hitter, Kate Stoltzfus, but she's not able to square it up. She's off balance just a little bit.
So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes on Stoltzfus. 2 for 16 with a couple of runs scored early on this season. She gets hit by the 0-2 pitch, and she's aboard to start the top of the first. Tried to ride it up and in, Quack, and it just got her.
First hit by pitch of the year for Stoltzfus. Tried that rise ball upstairs. Good idea for a pitch type location, just a little bit tight, and now Furman's in business. Tigers with Marion Collins at second base to start today.
Yeah.
How will they respond in the middle infield?
Frederick puts down the bunt. Throw to first is in time. The sacrifice goes 5-3. Moving to second on the play is Stoltzfus, and she's in scoring position with 1 down.
Sarah Bro, a good job there at third base. This ball deadens off the bat. Really nice bunt. You see Bro on the move. Calmly gets the out with a step to spare rather.
So here's Burrows, the first baseman, coming in hitting at 385 with a homer and driven in 3, and she looks at a pitch away. Runner at second, 1 out, just underway. Clemson, South Carolina. Tigers with a record of 3-2. Burrows was all conference a year ago, and she's kind of picked up where she left off. Leaving things at 1 ball and 1 strike. So yeah, you mentioned Collins, who of course a year ago she was at short. She started the year at third, and tonight she's over at second.
Incredibly versatile player. Natural third baseman.
And off-speed pitches in there, 1 and 2. Took something off of it nicely.
Well, Burrows has got some pop. She's an all-field power hitter, and so what do? You don't give her anything hard in the zone. We'll see what they do here at 1-2 ahead.
The 1 ball, 2 strike delivery, and that is strike 3 called, painted the outside corner.
Crosby's second strikeout of the season. Could not come at a better time. A little more velo on this. Good spot from Crosby. Brings it right back over the plate. That's an excellent pitch right on the outside corner.
Outstanding location. Here's Embler. It actually will be in the circle tonight, and she looks at ball 1. And originally she was slated as a designated player just before the first pitch. She will be in the circle. Runner at second, now 2 down. Leadoff hit by pitch, sacrifice bunt, and now a fly ball into shallow left. Wilson puts it away, and so Crosby able to pitch around leadoff hit batter. We go to the bottom of the first. No score. Starting lineup tonight. Kwok, we talked about Marion Collins in the top half of this inning. There she is in the cleanup spot.
She is a natural hitter. She did a lot of heavy lifting for this team. Down in Clearwater, you see the batting average, 8 for 16, aggressive at the plate in the cleanup spot for a lefty-dominant lineup against Kristen Embler. Look at that ERA. To me, that's not the story. She went 6 innings against Tarleton State and was quite effective there. Got bit by a couple of hard-hit balls. Nice to see her back in the circle. I'm excited to see how she'll attack this Clemson line.
Well, here's Brockenbrough, Jamison Brockenbrough, center fielder for the Tigers. You talk about really the catalyst, if you will, for this ball club and a true leadoff, what she does at the top of the order.
Hit 9th for this team last year. You see third team all conference. Hard to fill Alex Brown's shoes,
yeah, it
too.
really is. But she's done it. And you saw, is it fair enough to say you saw a little bit of it even in the 9th spot, like a second leadoff hitter last year?
Well, that's the goal. I think if you're doing a good job with your program, you want your leadoff hitter to be sort of the catalyst for you, and then you want that 9-hitter to be your second leadoff, and almost a leadoff hitter in training.
And the other thing that I think she does so well, Kwok, when you look at her, you see she takes a lot of pitches, but she's confident enough, even with 2 strikes. And a lot of hitters aren't like that. She really works a pitcher. Behind here, 1 ball and 2 strikes, leading off the bottom of the first. And she drives it into right field, and that ball is gonna be out of here. Her second home run of the season, and the Tigers jump on top 1-0.
You know, I was just about to say, she's really good at taking pitches, but she doesn't miss when she swings. She barreled a ball right at the last out against Southeastern Louisiana to get the Tigers ahead for the first time of the season. Similar pitch, similar swing here, right about belled high. That was a mistake from the pitcher Embler. And Jamison Brockenbrough makes her pay. That's a heck of a swing. Again, down in the count, but taking advantage of a mistake pitch, and the joy from the Tennessee transfer, her second of the year.
That is just her 7th career homer dating back to her time at Tennessee. And here's Chanel, the transfer from Florida Atlantic. Kylie Chanel, the shortstop. So 1-0 Clemson, just like that. And pitches upstairs. You know what I liked about her swing, too, is the fact really no stride. Right, so your head stays level, she's right on it.
Well, a lot of leadoff hitters, too, with a 2-strike. You're just trying to spray the ball. You might even slap to foul off pitches, give yourself some time. She cocks that bat back and lets it fly. She's not afraid to swing hard. She's a neat personality, too. It kind of reflects who she is as a person. Very incredibly gregarious, vocal leader. And right there, a confident swing.
We'll talk a little bit more about her swing as well, because a year ago it looked like she was just what you said, kind of more of a slap hitter, put it in play. as the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. But this year, of course, we saw what she did against Southeastern and she did here. But she seems to be swinging a little differently, I guess, swinging away more. Is that fair to say?
It does seem that way, and you can see your leadoff hitter, you want to have basically all the tools in the toolbox.
Right.
And Alex Brown did. I mean, that's an all-conference caliber player. You know, losing Maddie Moore, if you're Clemson, as you see a conference in a circle right there in a 3-0 count for Furman. You lose Maddie Moore. You lose Abby Vieira behind the plate. You're losing a lot of your pitchers, and people may focus on that. John Rittman is quick to remind you, though, that Alex Brown may have been the best leadoff hitter in America at the end of last season, and Jameson Brockenbrough steps from the 9-hole into those shoes with the confidence to be able to slap and hit the ball where you need to hit it. But then if you get in a situation where you're going to see something to hit, you go ahead and crank it a long way.
On a 1-2, she drove it. And it's 1-0, so the meeting at the circle is over. 3 balls and no strikes. And pumping the strike one in there is Embler. Yeah, she's already worked over 11 innings for Furman this year. Mary Beth Dennison, the head coach, first-year coach for Furman. Looking for her first win as the Paladins head coach, and there's a walk to Chanel. Spent a couple years playing at Middle Georgia Junior College, and then went on and got her degrees and coached because of an injury at Georgia Southern, was at Michigan for a while, and takes over the helm in Greenville, South Carolina.
It's always an interesting thing to watch. What do you do in your first dozen games as a coach in a sport like softball where you're playing a lot of games very quickly? You've got to establish a couple of things.
Noller to left. Frederick is there, just shy of the track, 1 down.
You know, something interesting with Noller, and you could see it in Florida, the numbers are not there. She's 2 for 17 now from the plate. But if you watch, a lot of her swings look like that. She's about a half a ball below it. That is a minor tweak. It may take some time to get there, but once she feels it, she's going to really hammer the softball. I got no issues, even though the stats didn't look great. I got no issues with how she's swinging it at this juncture of the season.
Marion Collins, second base tonight, looks at a strike. Yeah, it's almost, you know, when you talk about early in the season, just being off just a tad. And that comes with time, more plate appearances. Those are the athletes in Noller and others, Centron, Pipkins. The numbers aren't where you want after 5 games, but it's early and you know they're going to be there when it's all said and done. 1 ball, 1 strike to Collins. She has done a wonderful job for this program, just a sophomore, but she made her mark a year ago. She looks at ball 2. Of course, we will never forget the 2 solo homers to beat the Gamecocks here. What a thrill for anyone, much less a freshman.
She's another one playing a little bit out of position. She was learning shortstop on the fly in games. And by the time he got to that super regional at Texas, she was a real problem for opponents. Not just with her bat, which she has excellent bat control, especially for a young player. You mentioned the power and the ability to change the game that way, but she's got a clutch gene about her too. She played excellent shortstop. Now she's back her natural position at third, but oh wait, we're trying to tweak the lineup a little bit. Just move her over to second and you don't lose anything.
She's ahead here, 3 balls and a strike. And she fouls it back. That's a great point you make when you talk about a clutch gene. And we can talk about the 60s and arm strength and power, but some of them have it and some of them don't. That's not a knock on the ones that don't, but the special ones do.
That's exactly right. Now you think about it, she goes 8 for 9 at the Clemson Regional, 16 doubles last year.
And the payoff is flared down the left field line. That is a foul ball. Just missed extra bases. You can only imagine how tough it is for a freshman. And then, like you just said, she works all off season to get over at third base. I guess maybe more of her natural position. And now tonight over at second base. But we saw Pipkins make the move from the outfield to second. And she started all 5 games down in Clearwater. Again, the payoff to Collins. This one fouled off as well.
She's fighting off good pitches here. They're not going to give her anything bell high or above. Trying to work her inside on her hands, but you notice everything she's fighting off away. That's a swing of recognition. where you're just trying to spray the ball wherever you can in a 2-strike count.
Chanel at first, 1 out. This one's fouled off again. So you know that during the season, when we sometimes, and let's be honest, most of the time you're in the play-by-play chair, so it's a little odd for both of us tonight, but Coach Whitlock is in your chair. He grades the fans, as you know, on their ability to field foul balls. And I know he's watching, all right?
It's true, so you're telling me I got to get
you got to keep it going.
All right.
And right now we haven't, I don't know that we've had any plays made. Payoff again, fouled off. Good at bat by Collins.
Those are incredibly big shoes and an incredibly large head to fill.
Yeah. Whitlock?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's a legend.
Do it the best we can.
He is a legend, and
I should have brought my cowboy hat today. That would have been the whole. That would have been the whole ensemble.
Yeah, Coach Whitlock. He is the best. 3-2 to Collins. Bottom of the first, Tigers with a solo homer from Brockenbrough, the 1-0 lead. And another foul ball, 4 in a row.
See, here's what's interesting. You've got sort of a stare down here with 2 young players. You got a youngster in the circle. You've got a youngster at the plate, and neither one is giving in. Nobody's blinking here, and I think that's great for both of these competitors. You feel like you can still continue to be in attack mode. You don't have to nibble or take a pitch.
Driven to deep left center field, and it is gone. Collins a 2-run homer, and the Tigers take a 3-0 lead.
And we're just talking about it, Tony. If the pitcher, Embler, is going to keep throwing strikes, Collins is going to keep swinging at strikes. Watch her go down and get this ball. This is roughly the same spot that they've been pitching her, trying to go down and in, attack her hands. This is over the plate, though, and Collins able to lift it. There you see it, got a little bit up, just about belt high. She didn't miss it, but you don't get there unless you foul off a bunch of pitches. She fouled off 6 consecutive pitches from a 3-1 count there to get a pitch she liked, and she hammered it.
Like Julia Noller, outstanding power to all fields, and she drove it to left center field. So here's Mac Pavesi, the first baseman. Takes an off-speed pitch that just missed away. Coming in, hitting at .429. 6 out of her first 14 with a team-high 5 runs scored. She's also got a solo homer. And she's been outstanding around the bag at first defensively. The Tigers lead 3-0. 1 out into the bottom of the first inning. Pair of homers. Solo shot Brockenbrough and a long 2-run homer by Collins in the left center.
The thing I love most about Pavesi for a freshman, she plays 5 games in a weekend, 2 ranked teams. Team goes 3-2. She gets a bunch of hits, no strikeouts.
That's the most impressive. Hits this one foul left side.
And she started 4 games. This is her 5th start, so it's not like she's 1 at bat here, 1 at bat there, sacrifice bunt. She's up there hacking now, only 1 walk, but she's able to put strikes in play. And that's an excellent sign given the level of pitching that Clemson saw last weekend.
Ahead in the count here, 2 balls and a strike. Checked her swing on that one, and the count is even.
Now I'm really putting it to the test here because I say that, and now she's in an even count, and I'm well aware of the announcer's jinx here, Tony. Also the law of averages. You're going to strike out.
Eventually, I think she won't go her entire career. See what happens here on the 2-2. Floats away outside, 3-2. I just like her demeanor in the box. You know, for a young kid, you see the confidence as she steps in. She just has, and I don't want to use the word swagger, not a cockiness at all, but just a real confidence in the batter's box. She'll get a payoff here. And she hits it into deep left center, but tracking it on the track is Frederick for out number 2.
Both outs so far in this game have been well hit to the warning track. Clemson letting it eat with better weather, better air to swing the bat in. You got to love that. 2 good plays, though, in the outfield. Eden Frederick, a freshman in her own right, out there playing it well on 2 balls that, again, you start feeling for the wall, you may lose them.
Here's Macy Cintron looking for her first knock of the season. He takes an off-speed pitch for a strike.
I talked to John Rittman about Macy, and sometimes the hardest thing to do when you're a stud freshman is to start fast as a sophomore. We talked about Collins. That's one of the reasons she's been so impressive. Waiting for big things from Macy, who really, Tony, in my opinion, is the face and voice of the program, even as a sophomore. You could feel her start to emerge that way at the end of her freshman season. She took that loss in Texas very, very hard. And you don't see many sophomores at a program like this who are ready-made for leadership, but I think Macy Cintron is that player.
The 1-1 hit right back to the pitcher on the line, and a nice play by Embler will end the bottom of the first. But the Tigers jump on top. First, it's Brockenbrough with a solo homer to right center, and Collins caps the frame with a 2-run shot to left. 3-0 Tigers after 1. Your head coach for the Paladins, Mary Beth Dennison. There you go. Former pitching coach at Georgia Southern, played collegiately at one of the top JUCOs in the country, Middle Georgia, and also worked as a volunteer assistant at Michigan. Top half of inning number 2. And it will be Sherry to lead things off, the catcher, Megan Sherry. Sherry is 2 for 10 with a couple of extra base hits and has driven in 4 through the first 5 games. Waves at this one, 1 ball, 1 strike. So I noticed you got a text from your other boss.
Oh yeah.
Well, you got we all have a bunch of them. There's your wife, and then there's.
I was gonna say, but my wife texted me too, but I don't think that's what you're talking about.
No. The 1-1 just missed. So Coach Whitlock has chimed in about the fan fielding.
You know, we haven't seen any.
I haven't seen any
as of yet.
I haven't seen them boot it.
Listen, first game. Yeah. Still in basketball shape.
Little looper out to center, but Chanel, the shortstop, races out in the shallow center, makes the catch 1 down.
You know, when they talk about Kylie Chanel, it's interesting because the comparisons, the level, the school she came from, Florida Atlantic, you're thinking a little bit about Reedy Davenport, the former third baseman that came in, and really, I mean, she is one of the players that Clemson fans still talk about with admiration, coming in, you know, playing the left side of the infield. And Chanel brings that glove. That's what they thought they were getting for Reedy. She ends up being a 300 hitter, had some huge hits a couple of years ago.
Absolutely.
So I think Kylie Chanel, John Rittman's gone back to the well. Awfully impressed with the glove, but the folks at Clemson are saying don't sleep on the bat either. That's why she's hitting second tonight.
Here's Peeler, who flies one to deep center. Brockenbrough at the warning track, and that ball's gone. Katie Peeler, the straightaway center field, clears the 220 mark, and Furman's on the board. It's 3-1.
Peeler, the sophomore, her second homer. She did not get cheated. Look at this swing. This is a home run swing. She connects with this, and everybody in the ballpark knows. Look at the power there. When that ball's put on a tee for her, she got every bit of it.
Brockenbrough was playing shallow, and she did all she could. He just gets out of here. So that's an answer for the 3-run bottom of the first. The Paladins get on the board, and here's A.P. Capella, the right fielder. Takes a pitch in. A.B. is hitting 300. Couple of doubles. Driven in 3 for 10. 3 runs scored early season.
By the way,
yes,
that
sir.
swing by Peeler, that's just her 3rd home run in 142 at-bats, career.
And she drilled it to straightaway center.
I mean, because I was sitting there going, okay, Brockenbrough's playing pretty shallow out there in center. She goes back really well, but that was a swing of a player that you probably should play a little deeper than that, and the bottom line is she hadn't shown that a whole lot, so maybe she'll start changing that scouting report about her. She keeps swinging like that, those center fielders are going to have to respect that pop.
Furman with their first hit. And a little looper's going to be caught by Collins out at second for out number 2.
Crosby right back at it. She works away off the plate there. You see this right off the end of the bat. Looked like that ball was going to have a little more pace, but Collins able to get there easily, playing second tonight.
Thought for a moment it may sneak into right center. Here's Rachel Hawkins, the third baseman. 1 for 8 on this early season. Takes an off-speed in there for a strike. Yeah, we mentioned Coach Whitlock and the fans. I go back to the Bob Uecker. You ever seen the part where, as a catcher, how he would catch the knuckleball? As that ball is looped to left, and that's a foul ball. He said it's easy to catch a knuckleball. He was a major league catcher. You just let it stop rolling. And I think that's what some of the fans do here with foul balls. And I think that's a smart way to play it, especially when you're being critiqued by Coach Whitlock.
Well, look, when it's 70 degrees like it was at first pitch tonight, you're out of excuses. If it's 35, don't be a hero, okay? We're not trying to, have broken fingers, going to the hospital.
Driven to deep left, Wilson near the track, near the line. She has it, and that will end the top half of inning number 2. But the Paladins get on the board. Katie Peeler, straightaway center solo shot. It's a 3-1 ball game. Tigers' John Rittman, already 240 wins at Clemson. He now has 990 all time. 2 super regionals, within of one swing of heading to the World Series last year. 21 career NCAA tournament appearances.
As Scott Whitlock would say, Johnny Ballgame.
Johnny Ballgame.
There he is, making a fashion statement with the gray.
You know what else he'd say? He's a better person than he is coach. And when you got 990 victories, that says a lot. And he is an outstanding person. You interviewed him the other day, by the way. He did a great job. 7-8-9 due up for the Tigers. Sarah Bro, the third baseman, to lead things off.
I'll tell you what, he's an easy interview, too. He's incredible, especially when he's really passionate about his team. I think he loves his team. I think he was really frustrated, and everybody was, with the way that last weekend ended. With, you play Thursday, Friday, you get wins over Southeastern Louisiana and then 2 ranked teams, a top 5 Oregon team, and then you really blow out Liberty, and you're going.
You made Liberty look easy.
And I think Auburn is much improved. I think Auburn looks great from what I saw this weekend. And then Michigan State, that might just be kind of a clunker.
Well, you make a very good point, and I think, like most, as that pitch is fouled off 1 and 2. You win the first 3, and everybody's thinking, all the fans, and even some announcers like myself, let's keep it rolling. You lose 2, and I don't want to use the word panic, but the one guy who really keeps his calm and never gets a little too high, too low, and it's Coach Rittman. And there's a reason why he's 990 wins in.
Outwardly. I've asked him about the internal, what's going on.
And it's a little, see, and you have, by the way, you have him on every week, right?
That's right.
There he is. Good look at John.
He feels it just like everybody else, but he is very good at understanding what his team needs. And his team needs a calm, cool, and collected demeanor in these moments.
I watch him a lot and how he interacts with his ball club in those tight moments. Bro is hanging in there. It remains 2 and 2. You watch particularly the young players. Sometimes he just kind of puts his arm around them, has a little chat with them, maybe pats him on the back. And sometimes, as you know, for a young kid, that's all it takes is to know that the coach has confidence in what you're doing.
Sarah Bro's one of those young players. They got to find a way to get her bat in the lineup because she's very impressive, has a lot of pop. 1 for 6 last week, had a walk. She's going to play the corners of the infield a little bit. She's out there at third. We saw her make the nice play on the bunt earlier. Very good 6A high school player in Florida. It is not easy to stand out in 6A no matter what the sport is.
She loops this one to left. It will drop for a base hit. Just in front of a diving Frederick. Bro will try for 2, and she's got it sliding.
Crash Repley with the wave on there at first. When that ball glanced off the glove of the left fielder, Frederick, Bro never slowed down, and that was a good swing. She didn't get all of it, but again, a good 2-strike approach. Just get the bat out there. She knew it had a chance because she had her head down running to first, and then, of course, ball scoots away, easily sliding into second base.
Number 8 hitter in the order, Sam Minish, who's behind the plate tonight, the catcher. So runner at second, nobody out. Don't see many left-handed catchers, do you?
No, and I'll tell you, Sam Minish, I mean, I think every great team has a player with a story like Minish's, where you lose Abby Vieira, you've got a little bit of a deficit in terms of experienced catchers. Corey Hicks comes over, but it's hard to rely on one catcher through a whole season. So Minish says, you know what, we got some corner outfielders, and Minish is going to play the outfield some too, but she says, let me try catcher. And so she steps back there, and defensively, I think she's really picked it up well. John Rittman could not say enough good things about what it means that Sam Minish is able to sacrifice for the team like that. And when she gets these opportunities, I mean, have you noticed her yet today?
No, and that's a great
catching,
point. Yeah,
framing, that sort of stuff. I mean, it's going well for her back there.
catchers are like umpires. The less you see or know of them, the better they are, right? I thought a year ago, really good at bats. I really like her game. And for a young kid, that's impressive. Here she hits it foul off the net behind home plate. 2-2.
These are the opportunities, too. I mean, you've got a 3-1 lead, but if you're John Rittman, part of checking the box of a fast start is don't be content with 3, especially you give 1 back. Let's go earn it back again in the bottom of the second. And certainly, it's a big run-producing opportunity for the bottom of this lineup.
The 2-2. A good eye there by Minish. Count runs full. You know, Embler, we go back to Bro and the double, and Embler made a good pitch. You know, it's one of those situations where sometimes, regardless of what you do in the circle, the person at the plate is going to do you a little bit better. And Embler, for the most part, has pitched pretty well so far. Pitch is flared down the left field line. Frederick and foul ground. Can't quite get to it, and it remains 3-2.
That was a heck of an effort by Frederick. She came a long way. That's another thing, you know, Clemson, because there's so much power up and down the lineup, these Furman outfielders are playing pretty deep. Frederick's just a couple steps off the warning track, so it gives her a little bit longer to run here. She's about a half a step away from a fantastic catch.
Again, the payoff. And it's low ball 4. Good at bat by Minish, and the first to have reached for Clemson here in the second.
Just a couple walks for Embler. We've talked about how much of a battler she is in the circle when she gets in a 2-strike count. Remember the 3-2 battle before she gave the home run to Collins. That time she blinked a little bit. I know she's frustrated with that pitch.
So here's Ava Wilson, the left fielder. Wilson 0 for 3 early on this 2026 season. She shows bunt and bunts it foul. Count goes quickly to 0-1. I remember 2 years ago, what a win for Furman when they came into Clemson to knock off the Tigers 4-3. That was just an odd year. It was a good year, another good year for the Tigers. Got to the NCAA tournament, but a little odd.
Some ups and downs for sure.
Yeah, ups and downs, which we haven't seen a lot of.
You know what's amazing, too, about that, and you wouldn't have known it at the time, but I think a lot of that inconsistency really hardened that team. There's a look in the Furman dugout. Valerie Cagle there on the left. She knows a lot of the ups and downs. She was dealing with some injuries there in the 24 season. Still was able to have a phenomenal year.
This one is popped up. Will the catcher have room? No. And right on cue. Well, there's a nice play by
Nice
Finn.
play.
That was a great play.
Look, the initial play was not made, but sometimes you got to back up your position. Just like the second baseman when a throw goes through to the outfield. I mean, off the carom, look, not everything has to be pretty, but as long as it's
caught. As long as you get it done. The 1-2. This one is popped up. You may have a play on this one.
I was going to say. I didn't bring my glove.
You know, Wilson's another very interesting talent. Played a lot. I remember the first weekend a year ago, we were down in Clearwater. She started the majority of those games. Such a talent-laden ball club. Some of these names you don't hear a lot about. But that pitch just missed. 2-2. But a lot of programs, she may be starting every day. The point being, and that's a tribute to coach and these women and the talent level and what they've done recruiting-wise. 2 on, nobody out. This one is skied a mile high into right. Kapala comes in, makes the catch. And there's one away.
It's a nice play. It's a little bit of a tough sky. But it's getting darker, so it becomes a little bit easier. But a ball hit that high in the air, it's going to go up above the lights and come back down. You can tell that Sapala did a good job to track it and then hang with it. She kept her feet moving until the ball fell into her glove.
Were you on the call a few years ago in baseball in North Carolina at Clemson by any chance? Here's Brockenbrough.
Yeah.
And remember all the pop-ups that were dropped?
Oh, yeah, about the 12 minutes from hell.
It was the high sky. You mentioned it. And sometimes it's impossible.
And Clemson goes in to hit, and the sun's down, and
perfect.
They didn't get the benefit when they were batting. Couple of the same pop-ups.
Yeah, that was a tough night. 1 ball and no strike. Brockenbrough homered. Their first at bat to give Clemson then a 1-0 lead. She's ahead here, 2 balls and no strikes.
Hey, that's a pretty good pitch. You're in the circle, your second time through the order. Embler, you're trying to nibble a little bit more. Particularly, you don't want to come in. You saw Brockenbrough get to that ball in the inner half. You're trying to stay away, but off the plate, maybe induce a ground ball and get a double play.
Ball 3.
What you don't want to do here is give Clemson a lot of momentum in its home ballpark with the bases loaded without making a competitive pitch here to Brockenbrough. You want to at least make her beat you with a swing.
The 3-0. Gets a strike, 3-1. Bro with a leadoff hustle double to start this inning.
She's been out there a while.
She's been out there. And Minish walks. Wilson flies shallow right. And the 3-1 misses ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
This one I'm talking about with Brockenbrough, okay? She brings power. That's her 8th walk of the season. She's been hit by a pitch, okay? If your leadoff hitter is taking pitches to draw walks like that, and she's able to hit you a home run a week, you're talking about an All-American.
That is amazing.
Right there.
So let's do the math here. 5 for 13 and 9 for 9. 14 of 22 from an on-base percentage perspective. Here's Chanel, walked and scored in front of Collins' 2-run homer back in the first. And this one, she'll pop it up on the infield. And then foul ground, it will be the first baseman Burrows who has it for a big second out.
Well, that's a huge out for the Paladins. Huge. I mean, you want to talk about a sigh of relief for Embler. After a walk, you've got Chanel with Noller coming up. You know you want to get Chanel, and she pops it up to your first baseman like that. That is massive. Now, if Scott Whitlock were here, this is where he would say the second out is sometimes the most dangerous because you haven't achieved anything yet. It's a big out.
Okay.
But in this moment, you still got one more out to get.
So you relax a little, maybe?
That's right.
Lose a little bit of your
human nature.
1 ball and no strikes to Noller. Flight out to left, and she takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Going back to Brockenbrough, .636 on base percentage. And you mentioned it. I mean, I think even more impressive than the power and the homers, the fact she's 9 walks. There you go. Take a look at Brockenbrough at first. Minish down at second, Bro over at third. It's 2-1.
I appreciate how committed you were to that math. You really stuck it out.
You know what it is? It's an old SID.
Got all the way to the percent.
You know when you're an SID guy at one point in your career, that's.
I'm a stats nerd, man.
Are you really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You can't out stats nerd me.
Okay, well,
that was great though. You did your best. That was good.
Bases loaded, 2 down. Noller in a good hitter situation and fights it off, fouls it back. Had a 2-1 pitch and just missed it. 2-2.
She's just a little. I mean, watch that swing.
And you told me that earlier in the week
off.
when we talked about it.
It's not far off, but she's just a little underneath. She starts hitting the top of that baseball. You're going to see it carry because she's got a natural power swing when she connects with the softball.
Yeah, she came on her freshman year with a bang homer in her first at bat. Here it's full 3-2 down in Clearwater. In fact, she had 2 homers, if my memory serves me correctly, in her first collegiate game. She too has had some injury woes a little bit in her career, but she's bounced back nicely. Payoff pitch is on the way, and it's ball 4. And that'll force in Clemson's 4th run. It's a 4-1 ball game.
That's a great take by Noller. I think when you're scuffling a little bit, you've got a tendency to want to overcorrect that by coming through with the swing. Right there, the best thing she could have done was take that rise ball up out of the zone and give her team an RBI. It's patience, it's maturity on display.
That's huge. You know, I couldn't agree more. You sound like Coach Whitlock every minute, but it's so true. And you mentioned it, when you're scuffling just a bit, and to be able to still be patient at the plate. It's a professional hitter. Here's Collins, 2-run homer her first time. 4-1 Tigers, bottom of the second. That one floats outside. Well, we have a moment. In case you were wondering, Collins' career high in RBI is 5 in a ball game. She's ahead here, 2 balls and no strikes, and that came. She's done that twice. This time she did it against what, North Carolina State in April of last year. I assume I'm looking at the right number.
Oh, you're right.
All right. 2 balls and no strikes. 3-0.
There's a tough spot here for Embler. She really has worked well. Mentioned, man, we got time called here. I mean, Bros hit about a half step away from being caught. Been competitive, trying to attack it to 2-strike counts. You get the big second out, but we talked about it. You get the big second out, maybe you relax, especially as a young player. This is a teaching moment for a first-year head coach and a freshman pitcher. And it's also a coach that has a pitching background. She's going to be able to help these pitchers to develop in time. Every single one of these moments along the way is giving you calluses. Coaches talk about calluses. This is a callus right now. Now, how can you pitch your way out of this from 3-0 without putting your team down 8-1? That's the tricky part here. Is it better potentially to continue to try to make competitive pitches that aren't strikes to see if maybe you can get a borderline call and then maybe a foul ball and win it that way? Do you risk a walk to get into a right matchup with the hitter on deck? I don't know.
That's a good point. 3 balls and no strikes, and that misses ball 4. And back-to-back walks have scored a pair. The Tigers take a 5-1 lead.
And I'm not sure that was supposed to be a ball, but I think the idea there is we're going to try to attack the corners. We don't want to give up 4 runs because we missed on a couple of pitches here. So now you reset the count 0-0. You give yourself a little bit of a chance to win one here with 2 outs to get back in the dugout.
Here's Pavesi, line to left to end the first inning. And the Tigers with a 2-run bottom of the second after the solo homer in the top half of this frame by Peeler cut the margin to 3-1. So teaching moments for this new head coach at Furman and Coach Dennison and the pitcher on the mound for them and Embler, how she handles these situations, because at some point maybe in a conference game where it will mean more, she may face the same situation. 2 balls and no strikes.
Now these first dozen games, I said it a little bit earlier, so interesting to see. You play so many games in such a short amount of time without having a lot of time to practice and sort of work those kinks out. You just have to kind of play through it. What do you want to establish with your team as a first-year head coach? And in these situations, it might only be a couple of things. Right here, you want to watch your pitcher compete to minimize damage in this situation, especially as a freshman, just to see how she handles it, so you know in a month, in a couple weeks, you could put her back in a similar situation, expect a result.
There's ball 4. On 4 pitches, Pavesi walks, 3rd straight walk, 5th of the inning. And the margin is now 6-1 in favor of Clemson. As Brockenbrough crosses from 3rd base. You know, one of the things I was thinking about, you mentioned the number of games, 5 in 4 days last weekend for the Tigers down in Clearwater. What other sport do you play that many games in college or anywhere?
You don't.
You don't. And you mentioned it, and I heard you talk to Coach about it this week, as there's a strike to Macy Cintron. And some action down in the Paladin bullpen. And it will be Jamison Noonan. Right-hander will begin the looser. Another freshman. Cintron to second. And that will end the Clemson bottom of the second. But the Tigers take advantage of a leadoff double and 5 walks. 6-1 Tigers.
You're talking about national contenders with Florida State and Clemson obviously right there at the top, but Stanford, as good as it gets, Virginia Tech, Duke, Virginia, these are all really good programs that have been built the right way. And then I think the middle of the conference is going to be very good again. A program like Georgia Tech, a program like Louisville showed some promise last year. So there's a lot to like about this group. Cal in the mix there in the middle of the standings.
First pitch swinging, Chang pops it up to Chanel at short. You know, I go back to, you talk about Stanford. I thought a year ago, Quack, it was the winning 2 out of 3 in Palo Alto that really told this ball club, and of course winning at Tennessee, that they could compete with the best in the country.
I would agree. I thought that was the turning point for this team. And a lot of times you're saying the right things and you feel like the right things are happening, but you still need to see some proof. And there's a proof of concept there as we got a pitching change here for Clemson. The proof of concept in the Stanford series certainly was of benefit to this team. I think it did unlock a different level for them.
So the new pitcher in the circle will be Abby Dunning. So Dunning comes aboard and replace the starter Crosby.
And that's a really good outing. If you're John Rittman, if you're Kyle Jamison down there in the first base dugout, that's a really good outing from Crosby. Again, freshman, dealt with the home, gave up the home run, didn't allow a lot of traffic, really had good command of her stuff throughout. Came in after you score 3 in the first 3 and so you get an out there in the third. Now you switch it up, you bring in a veteran in Dunning, the Boston College transfer. Cool story about Dunning, by the way. She's coming in, you see her at 5'4". She doesn't look like much, just getting off the bus, so to speak. She is a doggone competitor. This is one of those times where, and we see this a lot, and you're seeing it with Clemson's, a couple of their transfer portal pickups in the circle. Sierra Manis pitched against Clemson last year in the regional, pitched alongside Clemson 2 years ago in Tuscaloosa. They've seen her up close and personal. Abby Dunning shut out Clemson as a Boston College pitcher 2 years ago, dealt with injuries last year. It's one of those things where you watch somebody perform against you and you go, wow, that'd be nice if we could harness that and look at some things. Then that player gets in the portal, you're able to get him, and maybe you want him a little more than some other people because of what you've seen them do. They are very excited about Abby Dunning coming off the injury and what could potentially be in May, June, July. Well, I guess April, May, June are the months there as they really get into the season.
Now the first pitch from Dunning misses away to the leadoff batter Stoltzfus, who was hit by a pitch to begin the ball game. 13 punch-outs already for Dunning in just 13 1/3. Opponent's hitting just .250 against the right-hander. And this one is looped to the second baseman Collins, 2 away. They got inside on her there, 2 down. Here's Frederick, sacrifice bunter first time, 0 for 1, or actually no official at bat.
First time through the order for Crosby, and we talked about it, just the 1 hit she allowed. Like I say, John Rittman and his crew will take that. No walks, just 25 pitches to get through 1 time. And that's the kind of thing, too. You don't want to overexpose. You want to get some other people some work. She worked efficiently enough that in a month, a couple months from now, you let Crosby get a second time through. But again, this is the part of the year where you're trying to throw a lot of people out there to see how they respond in certain situations so you know how to use them later.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit again about last year. Pitches fouled off, and you talked about getting folks in now, see what they do, helps later on. Reese Basinger and what she did a year ago. And Brooke McCubbin. I mean, you know, going into the season, you didn't quite know, but by the end of the year, I don't know that we wanted anyone else in the circle. And Reese coming from Winthrop.
Similar to Manis in some ways.
Yes.
Just that type of level step up.
But a coach on the staff at Clemson made a great point, because Basinger was really a much better pitcher here than at Winthrop when you look at the numbers. But they said it's because of the different training and the food and the different things that they do here that she had never been had ever happened to her, if you will, for lack of better words. I mean, and that's not a knock on any other school, but they're not Clemson. When you talk about a training table and the different things that they offer, it really made a difference from what I was told by the coaching staff. And she proved it in the circle. Pitch a slap to left. That is a foul ball.
I'll tell you what else you want from your transfer pitchers. You want the cerebral nature that a Reese Basinger gives you. And that's what somebody like Dunning can give you. Knows how to pitch. Basinger wants to go to medical school. I mean, she's very bright, incredibly intelligent, soft-spoken, but, man, she's got a very high IQ. And I like the potential of Abby Dunning to do a similar thing for this team.
This one is hit to left. Wilson, nice play. Heading towards the left field corner, she reaches up and takes extra bases away from Frederick to cap a 1-2-3. Top half of the third. I didn't know if she was going to be able to get to it, Kwok, but she did. Nice jump on it. Tigers by 5. He said generational talent.
And she was. I mean, you look, nobody going to fill the trophy case like her. You know, it's amazing when you start a program, you're thinking, well, you know, you're just going to lay some foundation. May very well have had the best player in the history of your program. I mean, you don't know her ability at the plate. I mean, look at those numbers. Sub-2 ERA, sub-1 whip with over 800 strikeouts.
Unbelievable.
And we're not even talking about her offensive production, how feared she was, how much power she had to all fields. I mean, she could hit opposite field home runs better than right-hand hitters. And think about it, was a homeschool student from Virginia that was committed to Delaware that Clemson staff found at a tournament where they were going to see some other people. And Valerie Cagle, the fact that she was a foundational piece for a brand new program, it almost is like Disney writers handed you that script.
It's like having a Heisman Trophy winner just right out of the gate. So here's Sarah Bro behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Let me ask you this. There may be players later on that put up some gaudy pitching numbers and then there are others that hitting numbers, but do you find someone that can put up both like she does? Incredible.
It's going to be very hard to do. Macy Cintron's a two-way player. I mean, they've had other two-way players here.
Right.
You know, you can potentially do it. But I'll tell you what.
But on that level, I guess.
Well, you're seeing fewer and fewer players do it, you know, because I think it is more difficult just to be a good hitter. It's more difficult just to be a very good pitcher. Nye Kennedy is the best player in college softball. She can do it very well. But not many other people are able to do it at all because it's so difficult to be great at both. You kind of have to pick a lane. Like I say, Macy Cintron's a little bit different, and that's why they love her so much, because she gives you a little bit of that, the mental part where Valerie was very dedicated to being great at both, and Clemson was willing to give her the space and the coaching to be potentially great at both.
Bro to right, and she's headed to second for her second double of the night. And she leads off the Clemson bottom of the third inning. Now to rocket to right field.
How about Bro to the opposite field? Again, a good approach with 2 strikes. Second straight time we've seen this is down and away. She just flicks the wrist, and that ball carried. You could tell it carried a little bit further than the right fielder Sapala thought that it would. She was trying to come up and get it. Then she kind of played it back, and she got an in-between hop as we see a pinch runner out at second base.
Pipkins.
Taylor Pipkins out there. She's going to play a lot for this team. That's one thing John Rittman does. He liberally uses his bench to run. It's a great way to bring along young players. Pipkins, a very good athlete. Going to play a lot of second base. Was a starting right fielder in the Texas Super Regional last year.
Came up with some really big hits for this club late. I think it was a 3-run homer in was it a Virginia Tech game or one of the games in the ACC tournament last year. She's, you know, she was on a big stage last year and maybe overshadowed a bit with some of the greatness of the other players, but she more than held her own as a freshman.
You know, there's a joke among some folks last year that with Pipkins, that ball gets away. She's going to up well in scoring range with nobody.
Go down to third base after that pitch got away.
She big on late game heroics.
Big time.
So like first time through the order, you know, might strike out, sort of a weak at bat, but give her a couple at bats to get comfortable in the game and watch what she does. And she's an incredibly gifted athlete who can do this.
And with some versatility. You mentioned that, outfield to second base. Here's Minish, who walked and scored. And she's ahead here, 3 balls and no strikes.
You want to eventually get to a point as a coach where you kind of know what to expect with your lineup, but it is not. You have an injury or something, you've got some pieces to move around. And Minish is one we saw can catch, can play all 3 outfield spots, particularly left and right. Pipkins, second base, right field.
3 balls and a strike. So we went from 71 earlier today. It's got a little more chillier here tonight. A few jackets out there.
You brought yours.
Us old guys. Oh, and it got her inside. And so Minish aboard. So first and third, nobody out.
People are trying to attack inside. This one just got away. Yep, rise ball. Supposed to be inner half, but just missing a little.
And that may do it for the right-hander Embler. See Mary Beth Dennison, the first-year head coach, and with a quick word with the home plate umpire. That's Jacob Agee behind the plate. And she will make a change. 2 on, nobody out. Tigers by 5 here in the bottom of the third. Tigers trying to add to what is a 6-1 lead. They'll have to do it against another freshman, a right-hander for the Paladins, Fort Mill, South Carolina native, Jamison Noonan.
And Noonan, again, the numbers, it's early in the season, the walk numbers, that's too high, 15. So what you're looking for from her is the ability to attack the zone. I'll tell you this, she's also given up 10 unearned runs, so a little bit unlucky. Maybe, you know, mentally for a freshman, a couple errors on your behalf, it's easy to come unglued. Let's see if the defense can back her, because the best thing you can do if you've got a problem with walks and you're back out there today in a tough situation, first and third, nobody out, your task is, yeah, you want to strike out, but the next best thing is put the ball in play, have your defense build some confidence, and then let that buoy you into the next at-bat. Right now, I think these freshman arms for Furman, you're just trying to see little moments so you can build on as you head into Southern Conference play.
Yeah, and you take a look at the schedule down the line for the Paladins, you don't see anyone the caliber of Clemson on there. And that's not to say, obviously, that SoCon doesn't have good teams, but you get her out there in what's going to be a real stiff challenge against a good ball club. And if she has some success, it only benefits you later, as you mentioned. Here's Brockenbrough, or actually Ava Wilson, as she takes a pitch upstairs. Number 9 hitter in the order. She flied out to right her first time 0 for 1. First and third. Nobody out. Tigers with 3 in the first, 3 more in the second. Paladins got their 1 run on a Katie Peeler solo homer back in the second. 6-1. Tap slowly to second. Chang fields and throws. That'll get Pipkins home for the 7th run of the ball game, and the Tigers lead at 7-1.
All right, now everybody feels good about that.
Okay.
If you're Clemson, you get the job done. It's no double play. It's a slow roller ground ball. Wilson gets the RBI. Runner moves first to second, and look here. Easy look at Minish, making sure that ball gets past the circle. She's able to take off the home. And then if you're the pitcher, Noonan, you did induce a ground ball. It's put in play. The defense is behind you. It's confidence moving forward in the inning.
So Minish moves to second. And now here's Brockenbrough. You know, you sound more like a coach. You're making sure the ball gets beyond the circle. Good job by Pipkins reading that.
Once again,
there you go. You are a statistician.
Scott, man.
You're an analyst, play-by-play, and a coach.
You know, it's one of the things I love about.
Your wife has told me there's nothing you can't do. Is that true?
I'm certain you didn't hear that from her. You must have misheard that. She'll
2 balls and no strike.
How much paper you got? She'll make you live. I struggled to put my kid's car seat back in my car today.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. It took me 2 tries in a YouTube video.
I don't know that I'd come clean on that.
I'm just saying, man.
Oh, Lordy.
I told my wife when I got home, I said, it was actually just 3 steps, but the book made it seem like it was 18 steps.
Well, it's kind of like,
up, man.
You ever put a, by the way, it's 3 balls and no strikes, put a model together, with glue. When you get done and there's a few pieces left, it never works out. It's kind of like a car seat, I guess. You just do whatever works. Next thing you know, Hollis will be driving.
I'm the worst craft guy ever. I hope Hollis can glue.
There's a strike, 3-1.
All right, Brockenbrough's had 2 good at-bats here. She got ahead in the count, drew a walker last time up. She hit the home run with 2 strikes, so she's worked from ahead, she's worked from behind. I bet she's going to take here unless it's dead perfect.
3-1. I think you're right on.
See, and that was almost perfect.
Well, that was a pitcher's strike,
good
though.
Pitch.
Yeah.
Really good pitch right there at the knees. Good spot by Noonan.
Might change your nickname to Coach. But it's a good point. That was a pitcher's strike. And as you said, it had to be a perfect pitch for her, and she took it. So the count's full. Runner at second. 1 out, 1 run in. This one's driven to right. Kapala's there, makes the catch. Brockenbrough hit it hard, but right at the right fielder. 2 down.
It's just good pitching by Noonan. Again, you get in a 3-0 count, hitters count. Lefty swingers already hit a home run today. What do? You spot 2 up. You get the 3-0 strike, then you spot 1 up at the knees, and now you've got some wiggle room to work with. And she throws a confident pitch in there. And I'm telling you, that first out, I know you gave up the run, but that first out, it gives you the confidence to throw a good 3-2 pitch even if the ball's in play.
Here's Chanel. Takes a pitch outside. Walked and scored in the first. Popped to first baseman Burrows back in the second. But it's a great point, and what it's going to do for her down in the count 3-1 against one of the top leadoff hitters in the country. And able to record the out. Minish down at second. 2 balls and no strikes.
See, this is a good at bat from Chanel too, because remember, she came up bases loaded, 1 out. She swings the first pitch, pops it up. The last thing you want to do is sit here and fall behind the next time. You want to get this run home from third with a swing, but she's taken 2 close pitches off the plate.
This one popped foul behind home plate, not a play. The count goes to 2-1. I remember her a year ago at Boca, when we went down and broadcasted the games for the radio, and she homered against Clemson, and that was a huge win for Florida Atlantic. And they were certainly into it, and they played very, very well, but I remember her. And I was thrilled to see her when she decided to leave FAU to come here.
Well, and that's another one. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's another one that John Rittman and his staff got to scout in person. And you're scouting video because you're preparing to pitch against her in a game, and those are things that stick in your brain when you got a player like this.
Ball 4, good at bat by Chanel, and there are 2 aboard with 2 down. Second time tonight that Chanel has drawn a walk. You know you're being critiqued by Coach Whitlock. I disagree with what he's saying. Okay, I disagree.
Oh man,
I think you're both on a different level.
You know what?
He's great to work with.
He is great to work with.
Here's Noller. Looks at the pitch up. Flied to left and walked. Really good at batter last time.
Listen, I'm just trying to say as many words tonight, because I know when he gets back,
it's over.
I'm going to just have to leave it alone. Create airspace.
So in this chair, when he's working, it's just, you don't even need a microphone.
It's so
1 ball, 1 strike.
It's so nice. And honestly, I mean,
he won a national championship at Valdosta.
He's worked with him. Oh yeah, Kennesaw.
Kennesaw. That's right. I apologize, Coach. The Owls.
I will say this. I mean, I don't know if people like that guy's an actual legend in
he is.
college softball. I mean,
and if you don't know it, he'll tell you. This one is hit to short and by the shortstop. Stoltz was in the center field for what may be a base hit. Regardless, a run scores, and it's 8-1 Clemson. I would think that's going to be a hit. Moving to her left, tough play.
Watch this swing by Noller. We've talked about she's a little bit off. I love this because it's a grounder. It's on the top of the baseball, the top of the softball rather. She bounces it. Now look at the spin. That's a confident hitter swinging hard, and the ball jumps off her bat. I love the way Julia Noller, when she plays up the middle, she can impact the softball just like that, where the pace off her bat is just enough to catch hitters off, or catch fielders off guard rather.
Collins has homered and walked. 2-run homer back in the first, and it was an RBI single for Noller. 5th knock of the night for the Tigers, and the 2nd run driven in with the junior first baseman most of the time. Tonight, the designated player, Julia Noller. So used to saying that for years. For the first 2 years, she stayed down at first base. 2 balls and a strike, or no strikes, I should say. 8-1 now, Tigers.
She's going to play a lot of first base. She'll be in that mix out there. But I tell you what, if Pavesi, who's sitting on deck, if she continues to hit that way, they're going to have to work her in the lineup a lot. Hey, John Rittman's got a good problem with these young players that are working their way into the lineup. And again, when Cintron gets going, when Noller gets going, you know they're going to have roles, obviously. But now you've got other people nipping at their heels. That competition, that is a benefit, a great benefit over a long season to your softball program.
Yeah, we saw John Rittman. And I would think with the talent level, it lets him sleep a little easier at night. 3-0, bases loaded as Collins draws the 4-pitch walk. And Chanella move over to third, Noller the second, and here's Pavesi. You know, I saw Pavesi play on TV. I don't know if you saw this last year. She was in an All-America game along with Bro.
Yeah.
And to have two Tigers on an All-American team was phenomenal. And she looked like a big-time player. I don't know, did you see it? Where she doubled off the wall? And...
Yeah, I did see it. I did not see it live, but I did see a highlight.
Went back and saw it, yeah.
Good swing.
I knew they were going to be on, and I watched it.
8 walks for Furman pitching so far.
Fly to shallow center. Peeler runs it down. And that will end the inning. Tigers, however, pick up a pair. And they increase their lead to 8-1 through 3. Of inning number 4, you see a good look at the Cub. On this, what has turned out a chilly night. And you see some, I think, are some of the students out on the berm. Won't be long. You won't be able to find a seat. In fact, it looks like, is it Clover softball, maybe? Yeah, Clover softball.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Enjoying the night.
It's a long drive up here from Columbia.
No question. Some other fans, you know, there are some regulars, no doubt. This has become one of the toughest tickets at Clemson. You know, my wife and I bought season tickets for women's basketball. We looked into softball. No can do.
They get going.
I waited too long.
There is a new ticket policy this year for midweeks, and the crowd, they're all general admission midweek games here, and the crowd has been sensational tonight. They've been really engaged. I think it's created a nice environment here today.
So Marion Collins has moved over to third, and Pipkins will stay in at second base. Came in as a pinch runner in the bottom of the third inning. 2 balls and no strikes to Burrows, who struck out looking her first time. Number 3 hitter in the order for the Paladins. Okay, so 5 tough ones in Clearwater. Midweek home game against in-state rival Furman, and then back on the road tomorrow as that pitch is ripped foul. Tomorrow morning, I think ball club will leave here around 11, head to the airport, and head off to Texas for another challenging weekend.
Yeah, big weekend. You're talking about maybe not quite the average caliber that you saw in Clearwater, but a good test. You got 2 games against Arkansas coming up. You've got a true road game against Texas State to start on Thursday. And then BYU and Wichita State, quality ball clubs. In Arkansas last weekend, all they did was they lost to Virginia, and then they scored a combined 32 runs in 2 wins.
Yeah, I think I saw where they were ranked number 8 in the country, depending on what poll you look at. 3 balls and a strike to Burrows. A good pitch there. Ties her up, fouls it off. 3-2. There's Dunning back on the mound, her second inning of work in relief of the starter for the Tigers. Crosby.
I'll tell you what, Burrows, put her in permanent marker in that 3-hole. You can build a lineup around this.
No question.
She does not get cheated. Good command the strike zone. Preseason first team All-SoCon for a reason.
This one she drives to deep left field. Wilson, however, in foul ground. She'll have just enough room to make the catch one down.
What's amazing there is she got jammed.
Yep.
I mean, she gets jammed. Now, the ball's flying pretty good tonight, but that's a good pitch in on the hands. But still, she's able to coax that thing about 198 feet down the line.
Mentioned the starter. We were talking earlier about Kiara Crosby. 2 1/3, only 1 hit. That was the solo homer. No walks, 1 punch out. Very effective outing for her. That's a check swing, ball 1. You mentioned how important it is, particularly for these youngsters early on, having success. She certainly did. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. To the batter, this is Kristen Embler. 0 for 1.
Dunning likes to play at the bottom of the zone. You see that a lot, likes to live around the knees, a lot of ground balls. And then she changes speeds really well just like that.
Obviously, wow, that was nice. Back the big smile from the right-hander. Got some double barrel action down in the, looks like Tiger bullpen, down the right field line. This one hit slowly to third. Strong throw by Collins, 2 away.
And I tell you what, that's just not fair to Embler. You go 49 away with a off-speed pitch, and then you bust in. I mean, big-time screwball action on that pitch. No chance whatsoever. It's excellent pitching there by 4 in the circle for the Tigers.
Here's Sherry, the catcher. Popped to short to begin the second inning. Tigers with 3 in the first, couple of homers, solo shot by Brockenbrough, 2-run homer to left center by Collins. Added 3 more in the second, got a pair in the third. And for the Paladins, their lone run came on their lone hit. It was a solo homer with 1 out in the second inning by Katie Peeler, who currently waits on deck. 2-0. Fast strike on the inside corner. Got some other events coming up this week. Men's basketball tomorrow over at Littlejohn. And boy, what a job that Coach Poppy and the women have done. I know you traveled with them. Quack, got to be really proud. They're an outstanding ball club. This one hits softly to second. Pipkins has it. And that'll retire the side in the fourth. 1-2-3 go the visitors in the top half. Tigers with the lead. 8-1. Out even on what has turned out to be this chilly night here in Clemson, South Carolina.
It's a great environment. Really is the envy of a lot of programs in college softball, and I know because I've heard other coaches talk about it. Not necessarily why can't we have this, but you can sort of read that into the comments they have about Clemson's crowd and the difficulty playing here.
And the Tigers have been outstanding here at home. Get some numbers on that. If I can go through my little booklet here. Yeah, we were talking a little women's basketball. Centron to lead things off. What an outstanding year for Sean Poppy and the women. Of course, the men, big trip out in California. They play, what, tomorrow night? And the women are at home on Thursday?
Big couple days. So you've got this tonight, which Clemson's playing Furman and women's lacrosse on campus as well tonight. Tomorrow you've got men's basketball at Virginia Tech. Thursday, 8 o'clock, Clemson, Georgia Tech. It's a revenge game for women's basketball. And then Friday, you've got baseball starting here on campus with Army coming in for 3 games. Men's and women's basketball on the road this weekend.
Pitches in there. Centron for a strike. Talk a look at this home record for the Tigers here at the Quarter Stadium. 134-28.
That's not bad.
No, it's really good, obviously. Centron looking for her first hit tonight, 0 for 2. And she hits it hard, but right at the second baseman. And the throw to first, 1 down.
Second straight time she's been a little late. Push that ball to the right side. Sometimes it takes a minute to get your rhythm. This is good contact. This is not a bad pitch, but it's good contact by Centron.
I like the fact that a pitch down and away in the zone, didn't try to do too much, kind of went with it. It'll come, as you know.
Honestly, in a month, that ball's going to be crushed.
Yeah. Taylor Pipkins, the batter, her first AB of the night. Came on as a pinch runner for Sarah Bro, who had a really nice night. A pair of doubles, scored a run. Pipkins pinch ran in the second, eventually scored, stayed in the game at second. One out, base is empty. Two balls and no strikes. Yep, it's Army over the weekend for baseball.
That's right.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tribute to the our military.
They got a lot of stuff in the works from what I understand.
I saw where they put a little drink railing up near the visitors' bullpen. That's going to really slow down the heckling down there.
Oh yeah,
Coach. I mean, is there a better guy than Coach Backich? He just loves it. And I don't know, is there a coach anywhere in America that gets as fired up as probably his crowds? You ever notice that sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
And it's great. It's great. He gets them pumped up.
He plays to it now. He plays to it.
He's a good one. He is a good one. Interested to see how they do this season.
Interesting. Eric Baggage, California guy. John Rittman, California guy. Different approach.
Yeah. I mean, and it works well. Gymnastics, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. See, I got one in there. It's 2-1. 3 balls and a strike on Pipkins. One out here in the 4th. This one hit hard, but right at the shortstop to her left. Stoltzfus, 2 down. A couple of hard hit balls. Nothing to show for it.
Ball on the ground, though. Stoltzfus has to move to her left. We saw her get eaten up by one, but she got there early. Talk about sometimes fielders doing your work early. Talk about that sometimes in basketball in the post, but as a fielder, you can put yourself in position and make a quick transfer and throw, and Pipkins is not slow. So you can't dilly-dally. If you try to field that to the side and slide your feet, you're probably too late.
So here's Minish. No official at bats tonight. Walked and scored in the 2nd, hit by a pitch and scored in the 3rd. 2 outs, base is empty. With a left-handed hitting and throwing catcher. This one hit down the line and left, and it will travel foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, this would be big for Furman here. Clemson scored crooked numbers in all 3 innings. That looks fun down
it does.
Left field line over there.
Yeah.
Souvenir time down there.
Isn't that what it's all about?
Sneak over. Oh, yeah. The berm is where the fun's at now. But if Furman can get this 1-2-3 inning, you're down 7 runs, but you're not going to get back in this game giving up runs. You're going to have to get stops.
So you sound like, was that basketball or football reference? Got to get stops, right?
Yes.
A little basketball, a little defense.
All the above.
And it'll go a long way. You see a good look at Coach Dennison there. Every positive coming out of this stadium tonight is going to help Furman at some point down the road. Sam Minish drives it to deep left center field. It will be off the wall. Minish around second, and she will cruise in the 3rd with a 2-out triple.
She punished that softball. Tony, it looked like for a second Peeler had a beat on it, and I think she did, but Minish hit that ball so hard that it jumped. I mean, there's spin on this ball toward the gap in left center. It's like Peeler thought she was going to get to stop running. She never did. And look at the hustle. Look at the strides from Minish here. Look how she hits the inside of the bag and then, boom, right on the inside of the bag again. Shortens that path. I thought they might try to send her to the plate, but an easy cruising triple.
So here's Ava Wilson. Checks her swing on a pitch down. So, yeah, I thought for a moment it might get out of here. And then I thought for a moment, as you said, Peeler almost made a great play. So good for Minish, on board 3 times tonight. A triple, a walk, and a hit by pitch. Wilson 0 for 2. And she hits it foul left side. Let's see if a fan, nope, it's going to reach the bullpen. Thought for a moment one of those youngsters we were showing might have themselves a souvenir. Now that is one of the differences here at Clemson. If you catch a foul ball, you get to keep it.
That's right.
And that's not like most places.
I mean, I don't think they'd argue if you threw it back, but yeah.
The 1-1. Upstairs.
Wilson had the RBI ground out earlier. She's still without a hit for the season. But she was the first hitter to face Noonan and got her job done. Right here, ground out's not going to do any good, so how does she respond in a hitter's count?
2 balls and a strike to the left-handed batting Wilson. Good swing there, fouls it straight back. 2-2.
Big cut is how she responds. She attacked that pitch and just missed it.
Balls and 2 strikes. Two-out triple by Minish. She stands at third base. And a wave and a miss took something off of it. Had Wilson way out in front, and the strikeout will end the inning, and it will end the threat. First time tonight, Tigers did not score. It remains 8-1. Look at Furman and their tournament that they're hosting this weekend.
A couple with Lipscomb, a couple with Towson, Bowling Green. Again, good opportunity. Open up at home. Well, you play 6 games away from home. It's time to go back.
Yeah. Sleep in your own bed.
That's right.
Tigers will make a move in the circle. It'll be the lefty making her first appearance of the season, the junior Olivia Duncan.
Duncan, her 14th appearance of her career. Got a 3.38 ERA. Kind of been lost in the shuffle a little bit, but she's an incredibly talented lefty. Continues to develop her stuff mix.
Chanel to her left. Nice play. Made it look easy, and there's one away.
Now that's why Kylie Chanel is here. Again, she's hitting second. You get the bat. Look how quickly she gets off her spot to this ball. And this ball's hit well on the ground. Bam. Now watch the slide to center feet. That's a strong throw without getting a lot behind it to get a quick base runner down to first in Peeler.
Yeah, Peeler, who has the only hit so far, made a bid for her second, but Chanel quickly to her left. And here's the right fielder, Capella. 0-for-1 popped up. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, Duncan is the 6th different pitcher used already this season by John Rittman. Swing and a miss.
And they're going to use them all. I mean, last year they kind of had to lean on a couple. You kind of had to ride your big 2 down the stretch. They're very excited about Macy Cintron. They're going to continue to play her into shape as a pitcher. That with a little bit of an injury. Coach Rittman talked about that this week a little bit. Lexi Hames had a little bit of an injury too.
We didn't know about, but you talked to Coach about it over the week. Yeah, he said the same thing about her in terms of working her.
Because Hames is one of the best players that Clemson signed. How about Duncan right here? Look at this pitch. When you see this again, this is nasty. The way she pitched Sapala to come back with this, moving back over the plate. Holy smokes, look at the English on that curveball.
Ball hit to short, and it's going to be an easy 1, 2, 3 inning for Duncan. A couple of ground balls to short, and in between, a strikeout looking. Tigers by 7 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. John Rittman, more importantly, Quack, good look at his upcoming schedule in Texas. Team leaves tomorrow.
2-0 against ranked teams. They're going to face one ranked team twice in Arkansas. It's a big opportunity here. When you go from one tournament to the next, you just want to kind of build on. Again, some of the things that John Rittman said he wanted to check boxes tonight. Faster start, you got that with 3 runs in the first, 3 in the second. Clean up the defense a little bit. Obviously, they got that done. I think the pitching has been superb. And then get the bats, a couple of clutch hits. Maybe not as many of those, but you've hit some home runs. You've run the ball out of the ballpark. And I think the approach has been good. You've taken a lot of walks where an over-aggressive team may have played themselves into pitchers' counts.
Brockenbrough slowly to second. 1 away. Nice play by the second baseman, Chang, to get the speedy Brockenbrough for out number 1.
If you're Furman here, your goal is to keep playing.
That's correct.
You give up a run, and it's over. You're back on the bus, so you want to keep playing into the 6th here. You got to have a clean shutdown inning in order to make that happen.
Here's Chanel. Saw a couple of nice plays by her defensively at short in the top half of this frame. She takes a strike. A couple of walks tonight, scored a run. So this is, by the way, a picture of the Shufo household tonight. Now, that cat,
there's no human sitting on that couch.
No, my wife, but sometimes she would tell you I'm not human. But anyway, this is our cat who adopted us, Chopper the third, and of course his name is Tiger.
Of course.
He's outstanding. There are times, you know, when we had one of our pups pass away, and I thought for a moment there I became number 2 in the house, right?
Yeah.
Of course, Tigers showed up. I'm back to number 3.
You got no seats. When
No
you get
chance.
home. Not any room.
The ball's at 2 strikes to Chanel. You see the right-hander who was initially penciled in to start tonight. Noonan, the right-hander for the Paladins, a late scratch. Now she's in the circle in relief, but she's done a nice job. Put up a 0 in the bottom of the 4th.
She got the only strikeout of the game so far. That was in a big spot, too. Into the last half inning.
This one is driven to deep left center field, and this ball game is over. Chanel with a long solo homer to left center, and the Clemson Tigers open the home portion of their schedule with a run rule 9-1 win over the Furman Paladins.
3rd home run of the game for Clemson. 3 different players. We talked about Kylie Chanel's glove. That's why she's here, but she can swing the bat. And we saw that right here, a big swing. She got to extend her arms. That pitch is up at her shoulders. Easy to lift. That ball got out of here in a hurry.
And no doubter into deep left center field. Let's see if they made the catch. Struggled a bit on the catch, the fan did, but nonetheless, Tigers take the win.
This is good for Clemson. We talked about the learning moments for Furman. This is very good for Clemson. Coming off back-to-back losses after a great first 2 days in Clearwater. You want to get back on the horse, get a little better, showcase some things that maybe you were lacking over the weekend before you hit the road to San Marcos, Texas. Tomorrow in front of a good crowd today in McWhorter. Excellent night for Clemson softball and a building block for Furman with a first-year coaching staff.
Enjoyed it, my friend.
I did as well. This was fun. Let's do it again.
All right, so the Tigers win it. Move to 4-2, 9-1 the final score. For Connor Bostic, our director, Kurt Sutton, our producer. And for my outstanding analyst tonight, William Quackenbush, Tony Schufo, saying so long from Clemson, South Carolina.